Keeper, return to me.
Alicia? She must need me. I should find her.
Hey guys, it's Leo K. So, AC Odyssey is not the Assassin's Creed game I'm the most skilled at, so this won't be a perfect playthrough, but I'll still teach you a few tricks and some mindsets. So without further ado, this is Fields of Elysium, episode 1 of the Atlantis DLC.
It's time, Keeper, to fulfill the most important part of your task as the one who holds the staff. Are you ready to begin?
Whatever it is you have planned, I'm ready.
Anybody there? Victoria?
Layla? Nice timing. Looks like I've been able to establish a secure connection with polymorphic code, hacker-free. It's good to have you back.
How's Kiyoshi?
You know him, resilient as ever. He wouldn't want you worrying.
Sigma team. I can't believe those bastards found the Altair too.
Turns out our signal was being corrupted by the Juhani Otzoberg himself. Guess he was bored of playing Black Cross and tracking down the Juno cult. I should have known some desperate hacker from Erudito would flip on us. Their fingerprints are all over this.
No way! Otso heard everything? If he tells the rest of the Templar Inner Sanctum what we're up to, we'll have every armed Abstergo goon on the planet after us.
If Berg hasn't found you yet, we're still a step ahead.
Then as long as I got you as backup, what are we waiting for? Let's see what this Great Seal is all about. Where's Victoria?
You'll see.
Alright then. Here we go.
So I'll be trying not to talk during cutscenes very much.
Hello, Layla. Heir of memories. We finally found each other.
I guess rebels always find a way. It's nice to meet you in the flesh, Alethea. Or in the hologram?
It was only a matter of time until our realities crossed in one way or another. It seems as though we're not alone.
Victoria? What are you doing down here?
Layla, it was way too dangerous to let you do this alone. I wanted to keep an eye on things personally. Who's this?
This is Alethea, the voice from the staff I was talking about. Of the Isu, Victoria. Can you believe it?
I've had nothing but time to study the patterns of human speech, so I should sound less like a talking stick.
Are you sure we can trust her?
Don't worry. She's a friend. She wants to help us with the staff.
It was always known to me that the heir of memories would embark alongside the Keeper, Kassandra. You weren't in the plans. Can I trust you?
Of course you can. I'm her doctor, and I need to be here to keep an eye on Layla's vitals.
She'll keep out of the way.
No matter. This journey is yours and Kassandra's. You'll need to build up the strength to withstand the staff's corruption. As Kassandra finds power to fuel both her and the staff, you too will feel that physical connection.
So you want Layla to go in there? I don't think so. Who knows what exposure to even more First Civ tech will do?
Not me, Victoria. I'll go into the Animus and experience it as Kassandra. Right, Alethea?
Your journey starts at the same place the Keepers did. The Animus will show you her way through the simulations.
If you're sure, Layla, we'll have to be extra careful. I'll be here to monitor you with her. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. Wish me bonne chance.
And we sync. I'm gonna be skipping most loading screens whenever I can because they don't add any value to the playthrough. and, you know, might as well.
Keeper shares blood with those who came before and is connected to the Elysium. The blood that is shared must also be offered, and the Great Seal will open for us.
If you say so.
Welcome, Keeper. You've entered the great throne room of Atlantis. What lies in this room are remnants of Elysium tech I've adapted in order for you to begin your journey. I'm sure you have questions.
This place... Did Pythagoras know it existed?
No, I wouldn't show it to him. This room was built by the Elysium to house something else. These thrones were once just thrones. Now they contain my simulations. Don't worry, I'll show you.
You told me this room was meant for the air of memories. But I got in so easily.
You paid for it in blood. Blood that looks quite like ours when you look closely enough.
Mater always told me there was power in our blood. I guess she was right. There's more I have to do.
Always, Keeper. When the staff belonged to Pythagoras, he used it selfishly for knowledge. He was weak where you aren't. You will endure lifetimes until the air of memories takes this burden. The only way to carry the staff's weight is to find the strength to wield it. You'll find that strength in Elysium. The underworld awaits, Keeper.
The... What? I'm alive. If I'm alive, how can I come back from the underworld?
These portals are simulations. They were made by me for you. In Elysium, you'll find power sources known as Keeper's Insights. This will affect both the Keeper and the heir of memories. Moving forward in the underworld will be essential to finding all the sources of power.
You're asking for blind trust, Alethea.
You pledged yourself to me and our common cause, Keeper. Never forget that I'm on your side. I won't let the ones that came before control your fate. Find the strength within you and show the staff your worth. Approach the first portal when you're ready.
So, in Elysium there are these things called Keeper's Insights, which are basically, you know, tablets that Kassandra can read. I'm not actually going to be showing them, because there's no story attached to them, even though, from the sound of it, you would expect there to be. But that's really not the case. So we wake up in Elysium, and we're already having a bit of a bad time.
Alethea needs to work on that landing. Gah.
You don't belong here.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so adrenaline effects. Enemy Isu soldiers can screw up your adrenaline. So there's a specific way I have learned to fight in Odyssey lately, with all the abilities they've added to the game that let you fight this way. So essentially it revolves around 3 skills, which are Overpower Attack, Hero Strike, and Fury of the Bloodline, I think it's called. Each of these attacks, what they do is they lock you in a paired animation with the enemy, and during this extended animation, you actually cannot take any damage, you cannot be affected by anything whatsoever. So, as you can imagine, it is quite handy. My Hero Strike is back, so I should be using it to delete someone. But this is a forced combat sequence. There's nothing you can really do about this. You're just thrown in here, you have to fight these guys. It's to make sure that you know how standard enemy units differ from the base game. And yeah, they have like magical attacks, quote unquote. It's not supposed to be magical, but it is. And that's that. And now we're gonna meet Hermes, who is probably my least favorite character in this DLC.
No one stands up to Persephone's guards, let alone best them in battle.
Tell me your name, or you're next.
I'm Hermes. As you're holding my proudest creation, that means you're a descendant of Pythagoras. I know just why you're here. You need to harness its power. Now, your name.
The staff calls me Keeper, but you can call me Kassandra. What is this place?
Keeper, a great name with a great journey ahead of you. This is the paradise of Elysium, presided over by the mighty Persephone herself. Elysium was a gift from her husband, Hades. This beautiful realm she crafted in her image is the only joy she gets from the underworld. She's his prisoner. But she's come into her role as queen with much aplomb.
Elysium. Resting place of heroes. When I was a girl, I'd dream of seeing it with my own eyes. Then why would Persephone attack me?
Most rulers don't take the sudden invasion of a lone outsider lightly. Speaking of which, the appearance of a living human is quite unexpected.
I'm supposed to go through trials and eventually leave this place. There was a great seal, and the staff talks... It's all very complicated.
Allow me to explain. The staff is a gift, not a toy. It can be a key, a weapon, and a way to attain power until the very end of time. Here, you'll find a means to control it before it controls you. After that, there is a gate that leads out of Elysium. But the only way to it is through Persephone, and she'd never allow that.
I need to get to that gate.
Try talking to her. Who knows? Maybe she'll convince you to stay. Or you could find Nekati, Persephone's top advisor and closest friend. Or you could prove yourself.
Prove myself how?
Persephone sent guards because she's concerned. There are reports of lawlessness in Defcalion's heritage south of here. Why am I telling you all this? You said it yourself. It's very complicated. Elysium may look like paradise, but we all have our secrets.
What can you tell me about my staff? I need to learn how to use it.
Find my energy sources, the perceptions of Hermes, across Elysium to imbue both you and the staff with power. Only then are you ready to move onward. You can't wield the staff without them. Are you certain there's nothing else you'd like to know?
Quiere.
When you've sorted your affairs with Persephone, come see me in Minos' faith. I look forward to hearing about your progress.
I will.
I almost forgot. I've invented just the thing for you flightless humans in Elysium. The wings of Hermes. Go, enjoy them.
Alright, so now we just have to make our way over to either Persephone or... No, we're gonna meet Adonis, actually. We're gonna meet him first. So, this place is a little confusing to traverse, but if you follow the somewhat obviously laid out signs and symbols and boats and teleporters and horse paths that the developers have laid out for us, it's pretty easy to get around. Like, on the one hand, it's tough to kind of strike out on your own and play with a lot of freedom, but on the other hand, the routes aren't as confusing as they might seem at first glance. So we're gonna take this boat, and we're going to boat over here and use this teleporter to warp up. These teleporters are called the Wings of Hermes, and they're not... They disappointed me a little because I kind of hoped that they wouldn't send you into a loading screen and they would just, you know, warp you up, or like, you know, it would be instant in real time, because the place they send you to, you know, isn't terribly far, so it's whatever, but that's something that I kind of hoped would feel better to use. We're gonna climb up this wall because it's the quickest way to get up here. Like, why use the stairs when you can pretend to have an Assassin's Creed movement system? I tried to side eject there, and then I remembered that the game doesn't like to let you do that kind of stuff anymore. So it's just forward and sideways movement for me from here on out.
You know I want out of Elysium. If you help me escape, I promise you'll never see me again.
As happy as that would make me, Persephone wants you to stay.
How long until you realize you're just one of her pets?
Watch yourself, human.
Careful, or Persephone will have you neutered. Oh, I forgot. She did that ages ago. Ha! Ah!
Didn't think the dead could feel pain.
I'm one of the few miserable fools around here who's actually alive.
If you're so miserable, why not just leave?
I've tried. If Persephone wants you to stay, dead or alive, you stay. Hades taught her well.
So you're the troublemaker I've been hearing so much about.
Adonis, at your service. With an army at Persephone's disposal and most of Elysium under her control, my troublemaking days are coming to an end.
What if I helped you?
And why would someone with their whole life ahead of them want to do that?
I need to find Hades' realm. If overthrowing Persephone is the key to escaping Elysium, then I'm in.
Why didn't you just say so from the beginning? Did you hear that, my love? She wants to enter Hades' realm.
I'm going to find it with or without your help. We might as well work together.
Tell you what. Southwest from here is the Fortress of the Three Sisters. One of Persephone's strongholds. If you kill her overseer, destroy her torches of Hypnos, and steal Persephone's resources, all while avoiding the attention of her Colossi, then maybe I'll trust you.
If you're the troublemaker, why do I feel like I'll be causing all the trouble?
What can I say? I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Luckily for you, I'm both.
Alright, so it's gonna make us play AC Odyssey now. So we have to go to this place and basically clear all the location objectives. We're gonna go there by jumping over here, jumping down. I'm just gonna point out that's where we want to go. You can see it'll lead us right to it. From up here you can clearly see the path that they intend you to take toward it, so that's where we're gonna go. Like, again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Basically, the less you try to think for yourself, the smoother this DLC is gonna go. Which I know is a weird thing to, like, experience regarding Assassin's Creed gameplay, but yeah, that's just how it is. It used to be the other way around. You would have choice in gameplay and be following a fixed story, whereas now you have choice in story and the gameplay is very restrictive and you know, very specific. And you would think that that's not the case because they took out full sync objectives, but no, like, gameplay is more restrictive than it's ever been if you're the kind of player who likes to play creatively.
I should try to stay up.
Less so in Origins. Origins lets you be a little bit more clever, but yeah, in Odyssey you definitely have to play by the rules, so to speak. Otherwise, you're just brushing up against the limits of the system. So I'm gonna rush assassinate this guy and then chain to this guy. I want to be clearing these places as quickly as possible, ideally. Not because this is a speed run, but because, like, why bother doing it slowly? I mess up here. I do kill this guy, but his buddy sees me, and I don't have time to rush him, so I hit him with a hero strike. This is a localized fight, so I shouldn't be detected doing it. I'm still rocking my poison dagger, but that's going to change soon, because eventually a knife will drop that has the trait plus damage against Isu, and since every enemy in this DLC is Isu, it's basically plus damage. Like, there's no reason not to use it. I'll do a 1-2 punch on this person to gain meter and keep going. So what we have to do over here is assassinate this lady, and she's being guarded by Colossi. And the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna use Shadow of Nyx because it's broken, and we're gonna whistle and lure her over here. So the way it works is those Colossi, those statues, they're basically robots, right? They're droids, essentially. And if they spot a fight happening near them, they will begin fighting as well. So because this person has way too much HP to be killed in one shot, we have to lure her away and then kill her over here out of line of sight of those statues.
Amazonian Queen. Rest in peace, Your Majesty.
So she's super dead. These are torches of Hypnos. In the story, they cast mind control over entire areas. So ideally the humans around here will be freed now when you have blown those up. But in actual fact, they don't really work that way, because the Isu mind-controlled guards are still guards. They'll still stand against you. They'll still fight you. They'll still detect you. So destroying torches of Hypnos, even all of them in an area, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any mechanical effect. It's just a checkbox to tick off of your completion list, which, you know, it's kind of disappointing, but whatever. It is what it is. Could have been a cool way to ghost. You know, it's like, oh, you can kill all these guys, or you can destroy the devices, keeping them under control so that they don't want to fight you anymore, right? Because every enemy in this DLC is a human that has been, you know, enslaved with mind control, voodoo shenanigans. Not really. It's all supposed to be scientific and technological, but I'm gonna be riffing on this DLC for how much it basically shatters the rules of Assassin's Creed, even under the guise of, oh look, we're super Isu and simulation-y, but it's just, to an extent, it's all bullshit. I know there's something here, so I'm gonna mark it. I think I have to get outside. And chest. I'm gonna aim my arrow up until the crosshair turns red. Easy way to see if you'll hit. Someone gasped here, and I don't like that, so I'm just gonna go no brain mode and Shadow of Nyx infinitely. Level 3 Shadow of Nyx allows you to move around while you're in it, and if you have the full Pilgrim set, which is an armor set, you have infinite Shadow of Nyx, because it will never take any adrenaline from you whatsoever. So it's basically one of the strongest abilities in the game. I still make it a habit to try to kill from bushes with Shadow of Nyx, because during the kill animation you uncloak, and if you're doing that from a bush then it doesn't matter, they still won't see you. Obviously this guy doesn't have any bushes on him, but he's indoors so no one should see me. The Pilgrim set is also nice because it makes sure that you can critical assassinate more than you would otherwise be able to, even with Shadow of Nyx. Because Shadow of Nyx, without the Pilgrim set, does steal adrenaline from you over time. You know, that makes it kind of balanced. Kind of is the operative word here. It's still broken as hell, but, you know, it's less broken when there's actually a resource to pay for it. But we're going to shatter the hell out of this game in the way that we prefer, so we're not going to worry about that. You're going to see me basically skip entire sections without having to even think about them at certain points in the game, because there's literally no reason not to do it unless you're, you know, into some manner of self-imposed challenge. But my stance on Assassin's Creed Odyssey is that it's not a game that's built well enough to be fun to play that way, so instead I just like to be as effective as possible and get it all out of the way. This guy's super fucked. I cannot ghost arrow that guy, he has way too much health. So you see, that's a Colossus statue. He doesn't care about me because I haven't been detected in his line of sight. I'm gonna see if I can 1-2 punch this guy. I can. I want my meter back. Gonna burn that. There is no reason to kill this guy because he's not doing anything. And he's not a target, so it's just a waste of time to engage him. One thing I want to mention is that throughout this DLC there will be a bunch of question marks, like in the base game, that you can do. I do not recommend doing those question marks and clearing those locations until you get a certain quest to free or liberate humans. And the reason for that is because if you clear those question marks, you will kind of run out of locations that enemy guards spawn in with a high enough frequency to make that easy for yourself. Because you have to free a bunch of people, and I'm not even going to be showing that gameplay because it's extremely repetitive, and there's really no creativity involved in it whatsoever. Like, there's nothing you can do to make it interesting. But to make it less of a torture for yourself, just don't clear locations, or at least leave locations uncleared in the various parts of the map until you get that quest to, you know, liberate humans. So I'm just making space for myself so I can control this environment here. When enemies are not patrolling, I have control of this space, and when I have control of this space, I'm able to do actions without being paranoid and without, you know, watching my back all the time. Gonna crit assassinate this guy, he's super dead. That ability, by the way, is Death Veil, in case you guys don't know. It passively makes enemies disappear on a stealth kill. And just make sure that you don't have to hide any bodies or anything like that. You get it from the Legacy of the First Blade DLC, which is the previous DLC pack, I guess you could say. Gonna loot this chest. This marks the completion of this location, and now we just have to run back to Adonis. I'm gonna 1-2 this person. She does not die for some ungodly reason, so I'll just burst her down with my knives if I can. Bam. Okay, and now I kind of do this stupid thing where I'm like climbing around all over the place without realizing all I need to do is get out of the restricted area so that I am given back my ability to fast travel. And I just figure it out now, and I jump down and I'm like, okay, whatever, let's find a place where we can just exit this restricted area as quickly as possible. And bam, we're out of here. We're gonna open our map, warp back to Adonis, and that's gonna be that. Hey, guy.
Trust me now?
You've brought me one step closer to my love. It's a good start.
Who is this love you keep mentioning?
The most beautiful being in existence. With a face so fair to gaze upon it is to forget all others. Perhaps you've heard of her. Aphrodite.
This guy is
I'm
wheeling
sorry.
hard.
Afro who?
He's in love with a goddess.
Very funny. The last person who provoked her wrath was turned into a field pig.
All right. What's next?
Not here. Come find my camp in Iapetos' ruins. Before you go, Persephone has overseers and torches of Hypnos across Elysium. If we're going to weaken her influence, we must destroy them. And we're going to need all the help we can get.
It's about time I go meet the infamous Persephone.
Alright, now we're gonna go meet the tyrant figure of this DLC. Can't be an Assassin's Creed game without a bad guy to stab who's trying to control everyone.
I didn't get a good enough look at you back there. Now I see why my guards had trouble with you.
Well, they weren't exactly easy.
I'm sure they aren't what mortals like you are used to. You must be someone special.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
A simple Persephone will do just fine in my realm. Formalities are for the boring. Isn't that what they say?
So, Elysium belongs to you?
After the rude introduction I gave you, I can't blame you for not knowing. Let me apologize. Ross can attest. Usually he's the one that does the biting. He would want you to forgive me too. Tell me your name. Let's begin again. On the right foot, this time.
No hard feelings. My name's Kassandra.
Then I give you my official welcome, Kassandra. Let me tell you what's customary around here. This place is mine. I know every flower, every face. I alone let them in. But there's something here I don't want.
You mean me?
No. There's a beast loose in Elysium and it belongs to Hades. If it gets to him that his wife stole one of his immortal mounts, it'll be a disaster. But I didn't steal it. I won't go near the things. They brought me down here in the first place. No, someone wants me to look bad, and I need that horse gone.
The Hades? I'll take it you aren't a happy couple.
He's tried, of course, to bond with me. But what can he expect out of a prisoner? Love? That's just stuff of legend.
I'll see if I can find the horse for you. What does it look like?
You'll know it when you see it, trust me. Not only is the beast immortal, but he is terrifying.
Horses don't scare me. Has anyone seen him lately?
I heard screams coming from the Asphodel Arboretum. Perhaps he's scaring civilians. Bring it to my stable boy, the jockey of Artemision. He'll know how to send it galloping back to the nightmare it came from.
Alright, so she wants me to get rid of a horse. This is one of the first, you know, kind of branching choices in this DLC. It doesn't really affect anything. It, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, yes, it changes the story in a small way, but it only changes the flavor of the story and not what actually happens. And you will find that that's the case for, I think, both of these Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLCs. Like, both Legacy of the First Blade and Fate of Atlantis behave the same way. You can alter little touches in the narrative, but you can't actually alter how it plays out. And I kind of like that. I think that the base game should have been like that. That's more resonant with Assassin's Creed's existing... I don't know how to put it. Like, it fits better. It makes more sense for the franchise. Because it gives you... Like, hardcore RPG fans might disagree and might not really vibe with that idea, but I think that would have been a smarter and more conscientious way to do that. Like, yes, you can alter little things. You can have your choices. You can have your decisions kind of feeling like they matter, especially if they alter things relative to gameplay, which I remind you, Assassin's Creed already did. In Unity and Syndicate, these were called opportunities. You know, you could change how a mission plays out by doing certain actions. So you can kind of tie that into the story a little bit more and have the game world and the characters in it be more reactive to it, but don't have it so like the shape of the entire narrative completely shifts depending on your choices, like, you know, entirely different characters live or die or shit like that. I think that's not a good way to do it, and I think that ultimately that's a great cause of bitterness in certain parts of the Assassin's Creed community right now. So again, we're gonna use Shadow of Nyx because it's broken. You're gonna hear me say that and use that a lot. I went too close to that Colossus, so I'm gonna re-Shadow of Nyx. I'll just call it Cloak from now on, because that's what it is. Our goal here is to get inside this building and talk to a guy who is holding this horse. And then our goal is to get the horse to Adonis, because that's the decision I'll make. And that's not very interesting, so I will probably cut and transition during that process, so that you don't have to sit here and be bored all the time.
Don't come any closer. You're all scaring my horse. He's just a gentle creature.
Have you seen your horse? The others ran away screaming.
Leave it to a blind man to see what's right in front of him. Of course I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. These are hard times.
I'm afraid I won't make them any easier. I have to take that horse from you.
You can't! First Persephone takes my sight, and then you take Orphe? Our friendship was instant. I heard the neigh of a fierce horse. I approached him, unafraid. And he licked my palm.
He's not supposed to be in Elysium.
Are any of us in a realm that boasts perfection but shows only deceit? Have pity. Let him stay with me.
The horse is going to Adonis. I think he could use it for his cause.
The rebellion's real? I don't like it, but I guess he would be used for good. Goodbye, my Orphe.
So yeah, you basically have to grab the horse out of there and deliver it to Adonis. Not terribly difficult, not very interesting, it's just a movement objective. Movement in this game is very dull for me because there's nothing advanced to it.
I thought Adonis could make good use of this horse. Will you make sure it gets to him?
This horse? So long as it doesn't trample me, I'll take it to him on your behalf.
Alright, now we have to return to Persephone, and I don't know if I cut here. Okay, no. I'm just gonna warp to her. That makes more sense. I realize, you know what? I don't wanna, walk all the way there. So we're gonna report to Persephone now. See what she says.
Good news, I take it. I know Hades will be missing his beast.
I found him, and took him to your stable boy, like you asked.
You have no idea the trouble you've saved me. You've earned my favor.
Better pay that stable boy a visit to cover my tracks.
So I just blatantly lied to her face, which felt pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'm not gonna lie about lying, because I lied initially, to begin with, but I'm choosing to be truthful about my emotional reaction to that lie. Anyway, we're gonna go bribe this kid so we can be like, hey, don't tell her I fed her a bunch of bullshit. He's not super far away, so we can just run down here.
You must be the jockey of Artemision. Nice horses.
I keep them clean and pretty, just like Elysium. I tended horses in my old life too.
Then you're just the boy I need to talk to. I have a favor to ask.
What favor?
If Persephone or any of her people ask, I need you to tell them that I brought a big, scary horse to you.
A scary horse? We don't have those here.
Then you'll have to pretend. There is drachmi for you if you do.
You're silly. We don't need drachmi in Elysium. You're sure you're from around here?
Of course, I knew that. No matter what, you need to do what I say.
He only likes precursor reflex bows.
Because if you don't, I'll make sure all of your horses get out of their pens and run away to Tartarus. Understand? Tell them I was here.
Fine. Just leave my horses alone.
He stood there, soaking wet and sputtering, while his boat floated away from him down the Eridan River in pieces.
I'd give my sharpest bronze dagger to see that silly human trying to leave Elysium on a felucca.
Have you visited my mother recently, and given her my love?
Always. The meteor sends her love in return.
Well, I'd better get back. Elysium won't rule itself. Do keep an eye out for me. I sense trouble brewing in paradise.
We're about to meet best girl with the sexiest voice in the game.
I was starting to think you'd never get here. You can't waste time if you hope to break Persephone's control over the gate to the underworld. You might be playing both sides with Persephone and Adonis, but I know where your true motives lie.
Is that so?
Unfortunately, no one passes through the gate to the underworld without Persephone's permission, which she has never given. Ever. Luckily for you, as the goddess of crossroads and keys, locked doors happen to be my specialty.
Are you saying you can get me through the gate?
I'm saying I can help you bypass Persephone.
What's in this for you? You still haven't told me.
I'm not asking for your blind trust. Let me prove our goals align. This unlocks the door to Persephone's hidden sanctuary. She keeps all of her most intimate possessions there, stowed away from her husband. Among her treasures is a journal rumored to contain information you desperately need about the gate. Bring it to me as soon as you can.
I'll go get the journal.
The sooner you bring me it, the closer you are to leaving Elysium. Don't waste any time.
Alright then. So, we need to go and steal a book. This involves a bit of a puzzle, which isn't like the greatest thing in the world, but it's also not terrible. I'll show you how to do that. I am up here because I want to sync this viewpoint. And I need this viewpoint because this will be one of my main fast travel locations throughout this DLC. So it's really important I get this now, because if I don't, returning here later will be a pain in the ass. And we return to Hecate's little grove here quite a few times, so this viewpoint is critical. Alrighty then. So the thing about getting this this journal is when you're actually walking around there, there are a few additional objectives you can choose to pursue. And they're not, they're not really objectives, they're location completion stuff. So they're chests. They're chests full of gear that you can get. I think for this playthrough, I'm not going to be getting all of those chests because it would just take a while. See, there's 4 of them. We'll end up picking up the ones that just happen to be on our way, but for the others we're just gonna not worry about them so much, because the stuff that they drop is, realistically speaking, not going to be very good, and there is a high likelihood that it will just be precursor reflex bows anyway, which is not something you want to have an inventory full of. Not that the game cares, because it's gonna give you one anyway. Those are spike traps, just don't walk on them and you're Gucci. Need to move these out of the way so that you can drop in from above and continue. It just frees up like a little underground route of sorts. Yeah, just drop down and boom, you go left. Easy. There's a chest here that I'll pick up because it's right there. Look, exactly. Look at what I'm... Oh, God, precursor reflex bow. I knew it. That's a weak wall, you can blow that up. We're gonna move upwards. That's also a weak wall, you can blow that up. Now over here is when things get a little interesting. So I'm gonna ping to show you all these interactables. And what we need to do here is, firstly, I'm going to investigate in this direction. And go back to where I destroyed this weak wall here. I think at this point I'm kind of indecisive and I'm not really sure like what I want to be doing. But this does seem to be the right way to go, yeah. So what you have to do is, there are 2 sides here, and you have to clear obstacles on both sides of this room so that you can clear the middle, kind of. Want to move this to the right so that you can pull this back. This is step 1 to being able to move the huge thing in the middle forward. You can kind of squeeze past here. This is a weak wall, you can blow that up. And that's step 2 to being able to move the thing in the middle forward. So now we can leave these side wings, just go right into the center of the room. Grab this, push it, and now we can just curve around and exit. That's a weak wall, can blow that up. That's a chest, can pick that up. What's it gonna be? Okay, great, boots. That's, yeah, that's cool. What about this one? More boots. It's the same boots, but whatever. I'll take it. So there's a Keeper's Insight here, which I think may or may not be one of the only ones that I actually don't skip. And by skip, I mean skip showing, because you do have to get all of them. And yeah, they all kind of act this way, so they enhance an existing ability and make it that much more badass and interesting to use. I'm quite excited for the upcoming ones in episode 2 of the DLC, because those actually look kind of cool. The ones in here are kind of lame, in my opinion. They're kind of boring. I don't really appreciate them very much. Like, they don't really do anything. One of them is really, 2 of them I would say are really useful and actually powerful and help you out, but the other ones are just dull, and it's kind of like, why bother, you know? The one that fully manifests the unbroken spear of Leonidas, it's the Rage of Ares or Battle Cry of Ares one. I forget. Ares Madness, I think, is its enhancement name. But it basically lets you deal assassin damage with your melee attacks, which is absolutely ridiculous.
No!
I second wind to heal myself because systemic interactions, which are very rare in this game, but they do happen. My normal arrows turn to poison. By shooting what's effectively a poison arrow at a torch, it causes an explosion, it set me on fire, and what do you know, I do actually finish this location. So that's pretty much that. And yeah, I guess it turns out that I do actually have to go this way. I got a bit turned around and confused, so I ended up accidentally 100%ing it just by process of elimination.
Let's see if Hecate's key works.
Hecate's key does work, super easy, no problem. Alright, so now that we're in here, we are going to steal her little book and get the heck out of here.
Journal is missing pages. Hope Hecate still wants it.
I'm just showing how to exit this place, and this is a Marble Maiden tribute. There are a few of these throughout the DLC. Each time you destroy one of these statues, you will get an ability point. And they're basically like the Ptolemy statues from AC Origins. However, they're always guarded by a few guards. And I really like these locations. These are really cool. They were probably my favorite part of the DLC. They're not as copy-paste as they may at first glance seem. Like, they all have different guard layouts. They all kind of... You're expected to beat them all in a slightly different way. So you can see I'm going to use Kiros to stun that guy, break the statue, Shadow of Nyx away. And that's pretty much it for this location here. I'm gonna loot this little treasure, get some gems. I don't need them, but I'll do it anyway because I'm a rogue and I don't leave loot unlooted for the most part. So yeah, that's a quick Marble Maiden tribute. If there's a request to upload all of them in their own separate video, I do have them, or at least the ones that I enjoyed the most. I do have kind of speed clears of those Marble Maiden tributes. So that can be a thing that I can upload. I have footage of all of them. But yeah, they're probably my favorite side content in the DLC.
I'm not sure how stealing Persephone's journal will help me open the gate to the underworld, but here it is.
Stealing Persephone's journal wouldn't help us. But stealing the journal that belonged to the gate's locksmith will.
Who's the locksmith?
It doesn't say. Looks like a lot of pages were torn out. Now be quiet while I read. Well, that was illuminating.
So? What does it say?
Oh, so eager. The location of the gate is not revealed. But so long as Persephone controls Elysium, you need her permission to pass through it. Which you will never get.
But if she loses control of Elysium?
She loses control of the gate. You need to undermine her influence any way you can.
And how do you suggest I do that?
Your alliance with Adonis is a good start. His head-on tactics are a little obvious for my taste, but in time, he will wear down Persephone's forces.
What about our alliance? Where do you come in?
I know all of Persephone's weaknesses, and I'll direct you to them when the time is right. Until then, you'd be wise to spend some time with Persephone's lapdog, Hermes. Learn to use that staff. You'll need a divine weapon in the land of gods.
Very well. We're gonna talk to Hermes and he's gonna be like, hey, you know that Keeper's Insight you already picked up? Well, I'm gonna explain to you what those are now.
Keeper, you found my workshop after all. I know it may not look like much, but it's home.
I told you. You can call me Kassandra.
In front of the staff? Ha! But I'm glad you came. There's much to show you in this great land.
I thought Elysium honored heroes. I even thought this is where I'd want to come one day. But this land isn't great. It's just... haunted.
Ah! Persephone has endowed this land with a beauty only she could provide. Let me convince you. Walk with me.
Maybe you're right. I need to clear my head. Where to?
I consider myself a keymaker. One of my keys might interest you.
What do you do in your workshop?
Invent. All of reality's secrets are hidden behind doors. My inventions act as keys that unlock those doors.
You reveal the secrets behind them.
Ah, you're as wise as Pythagoras. But why discuss what we can see for ourselves? Observe, way up there, Persephone's first keep. If only you could have seen it when it was new.
It seems like most of Elysium is in ruins. What happened?
This place is beautiful, as are all of Persephone's creations. But it is a world that changes at her whims. When I see decay, I know she needs us at her side more than ever.
Off we go now.
There's a lot of non-gameplay content in this DLC, at least when it comes to the main story. There's a lot of just listening to people, moving around, moving from place to place.
Imagine all the heroes who have passed through those golden fields, basking in the glory of eternal peace. Each thinking they'd see nothing more beautiful, only then to set eyes on Persephone.
This guy is really into his girl, and she's not even that pretty, to be honest.
Ella.
Like, I'm not throwing shade, but like, if you put Hecate and Persephone in the same room, it's literally not even a contest. Like, hashtag not my Persephone. Like, that is not what Persephone looks like in my head. No, sir.
Look there, Keeper. That encampment is the site where Hephaestus built a home for Aphrodite.
Doesn't look like much now.
It stood tall until Aphrodite met that child Adonis. His ability to wreak havoc with a wink and a smile is second to none.
She doesn't really act like I would think Persephone would act either. Most of the quote-unquote gods in this simulation don't act the way I feel they should. Which, you know, how much of that is just a personal bias and how much of it is weird writing, it's really hard to say. I think a lot of Assassin's Creed players right now are of the same mind that, if nothing else, they don't act like Isu, which I agree with, especially when you look at, you know, how Minerva acts, how Juno acts, how Jupiter acts, even how Aletheia acts. Very different compared to these fickle, you know, gods in this simulation.
Leads to a key I built for the staff. Consider it our secret. The keymaker and the staff keeper, friends bound by mysteries.
Okay, so the rest of this mission is basically one huge climbing puzzle, and for that reason I found it kind of interesting, because Assassin's Creed doesn't tend to have this kind of gameplay anymore. We're gonna make our way up here. There may be guards here, but I actually don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just a movement test and checking to see if you're able to parse and analyze your environment. Not to say that there is anything very deep you can do with movement, but if you only provide one reasonable way forward, even being able to climb, you know, just upwards is, you can still do something clever with it. So here I'm just trying to make my way up as high as I can. That's where we need to go, and being that the case, I will continue to look around for a reasonable way forward. This is too high, we can't climb here. Also too high. I'm really not on the right track here, I'm just looking around. But yeah, you basically have to go this way and then curve around, continuing to move as high as possible. Yep, this is the right way. And again, it really becomes kind of obvious when you start looking at the environment and the geometry and the way it's laid out. You can, especially if you've played previous Assassin's Creed games, the parkour paths are quite obvious. I'm gonna look and make sure that that's actually where I want to go, and it is. I'll warp up here. Alright. Continue to move ever higher. This seems a convenient way to ascend. Now you can see I'm kind of confused. I'm like, yo, where the hell? And I'm just kind of scanning the area. And then I figure out, oh, right. There's another Wings of Hermes teleporter at the edge there, and that's where we want to get to. It's all the way in front of us. I don't know if you caught a glimpse of it. See, once again, very obvious movement paths. You would think that would be one, but no. Gotta move that shelfie thing out of the way, so need to blow up those pots. There's a chest here, which I'll grab just cause. .jpg. Precursor reflex bow. Fucking amazing. We're getting pretty close now. That was a lucky climb. And we are here. For a moment, these little
knowledge of the gods should be
scorpion-looking things on the ground freaked me out. But that's whatever. That's another Keeper's Insight. There's only 2 of them left in the DLC. And like I said, I probably will not end up showing them because they are kind of off the beaten path, and it's expected that you go get them on your own time without being, you know, shepherded toward them. There's really not much left to do here other than get back down and speak to the dude. And easy cake.
What happened to me in there?
Imagine for a moment. Inside you, inside all of us, are parchments twisting like ribbon. On those parchments is written the story of who you are, who you were, and who you will become. Does that make sense?
So this twisting ribbon defines each of us. And what happened in there changed what defines me.
You understand? With these keys, you can unlock the secrets inside you and wrest control from them. I've built many.
Thank you. I'm not used to doing this on my own. On the Adrestia, I had Varnavas as a guide.
Ah, well, I hope it's a long time before I meet him here. I'll leave you to your adventuring. You're welcome to come back to my workshop anytime.
Here, Hermes.
Alright, so at this point you get a quest called Give 'em Hades, and it's one of the most repetitive ones in this DLC. Although it can be enjoyable, it just takes a while. And the goal here is to weaken Persephone's control throughout 3 regions, which just means doing core open world gameplay. You know, just clearing location objectives over and over and over again until the amount of control hits 0 in each area. So I'm only going to do one of them, but you can use your imagination for the other locations. And I don't want to like waste anyone's time. And besides, if you'll eventually be playing this DLC yourself, you know, there should be a few surprises. So I think this is the best approach to take. I'm just going to try to clear this place as quickly as I can, just doing my signature Leo K running around killing everything style, or at least killing everything between me and my actual objectives. That's a prisoner. We're going to free that guy without a second thought. Come down here. I have death arrows equipped, which actually do less damage than my default arrows, because my default arrows are poison, and that does more damage outright. So bam, switch to my normal arrows, kill that guy with it. This guy sees me straight up, vertically, 180 degrees in the air. No problem. I'm just gonna continue destroying him. Easy. Archery is pretty strong in this game, even if you don't necessarily build for it. The ability for arrows to do, you know, on-hit effects and things like that is pretty strong. That's the Chronos time shift ability. Enhancement, I should say. It's one of the first Keeper's Insights you get. It slows down time, and for every headshot that you chain, you can extend the time slow a little bit longer. Which, again, if you have a hunter build, or anything approximating such a thing, it can be very, very nice for you. We only have a few more objectives here. We have to destroy some more supplies, and I think there might be a Torch of Hypnos. But anyway, I just rush assassinate to get up onto this cliff very quickly. That's one of my favorite things about this ability. It doesn't just let you kill someone, it lets you use their bodies for movement, which is low-key like the top tier pro gamer way to do it. Like, anyone can use rush assassinate to just ping pong around and kill people. That's easy mode. That's the most basic use for that ability. But to use it for locomotion and traversal and to move around, like, yeah, that's the real shit. That's what separates the rogues from the clumsy paladins, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with that. Yeah. That's really why I like Rush Assassinate so much. It just enhances flow so incredibly. Because unlike an arrow, which, you know, if you build for it, yes, you can get easy ranged kills with arrows, but it's not about getting the kill from range. It's about doing a 2-in-1 action. It's about optimizing killing and movement in a way that stacks them together without, you know, having them be broken apart and having them be distinct choices. It's like in chess. In chess, pieces can kill and move at the same time. In fact, they have to. Alright, I got blasted with like adrenaline drain, which is really crappy. I had to heal there because I don't want to die. I'm getting my face slapped. Hero strike this lady. Bam, bam. Super dead. Actually, that might have been a guy. It doesn't matter. Isu or Isu. Well, they're humans controlled by Isu shenanigans, but for some reason, against these enemies, it still counts. They still count as Isu, so the extra damage against Isu engraving actually will proc on them. This is dead. What's left, actually, I wonder? I think that's it. Anyway, so now we have to talk to Adonis. He's found someone for us to confront.
These ruins were abandoned when Persephone constructed her paradise. We won't be bothered here.
But there are so few of you.
Well, thanks to you, I now have a warhorse. An invincible warhorse. Or so I'm told.
I'm not sure how much help one horse is going to be.
Most of Persephone's army consists of mind-controlled humans. Free their minds and bring them to me. We can use them as troops.
Free their minds?
My dear friend Hermes is a master manipulator. And that staff of yours looks like one of his creations. Try using that. There's an outpost southwest from here, nestled in the hand of Hades. Warriors were spotted in its paw.
Alright. So, this mission introduces the Liberation mechanic in this DLC, and it's basically just reskinned recruiting, except it takes forever. It takes even longer than recruiting someone. So what it wants you to do is it wants you to liberate 2 mind-controlled humans, and after this it will unlock a quest to liberate humans from every region, which is the reason I told you earlier to not finish locations, to not finish question marks, to leave those question marks, uncompleted, because if you do, it will become more challenging to even locate guys for you to liberate. Whereas if you wait until right now, and until the, Liberate Humans mission fully unlocks, then you can kind of do 2 birds with 1 stone, stack those objectives together and finish them at the same time. It's much easier, much smoother, much more comfortable for you. So starting out, we'll just have the Liberate Humans tutorial, which is this tiny little quest fragment. We're gonna move up here. The first guy is going to be very close. He's right there. We can pretty much just walk right up to him and punch him in the back of the head. Bam, bam, gone. And as soon as he stops freaking out, because of level geometry,
I release you from their control.
I'm holding movement the entire time here. And then only now does it let you move. Imagine doing this like 20 times. It would get really old really fast. I miss, but I get it anyway because the Sixth Sense is really, really strong.
You've been asleep too long. Wake and be free.
I have to hit them with the 1-2 like that because otherwise my non-lethal punch will not deal enough damage to actually knock them out in 1 hit. So that's kind of like a, like a cheesy way to get around AC Odyssey's bullshit. Which is, oh, you can't, just because you snuck up on someone fair and square doesn't mean you're entitled to a takedown. You still have to have the statistics to back that up. Which is very silly and not something that makes the game better in any way. But we have to deal with it, so that's my way of dealing with it. Also applies to killing. If you have arrows that deal strong damage, you can deal headshot damage and then punch them in the face or stab them in the everything, as Kassandra is wont to do.
We have the best prizes around.
So for the upcoming fight, I'm gonna want to upgrade my weapon because it is a mandatory boss fight, and if I do not get this upgrade, it will be much more challenging for me. I'm gonna switch to that. The character I'm fighting is also not going to be an Isu, so the plus Isu damage does not apply in this boss fight.
You surprise me. When we first met, I was positive you were sent by Persephone to...
To what?
Seduce me. Confuse me. Anything to make me forget my love. But when I asked you to weaken Persephone's influence, you did. I asked you to bring me warriors, and here they are.
And all I had to do was risk my life for you to trust me.
No one in Elysium is who they say. So when a clever warrior shows up to help me escape, you'll have to excuse me if I'm skeptical.
Time to find more warriors.
Scouts spotted one nearby. was a Spartan hero in his former life. He's not under Persephone's influence, but keeps mostly to himself. With a champion like him on our side, we can't fail.
How will I know when I find him?
From what I'm told, you can't miss him.
So this is the quest that just appeared in the middle of the screen. Free their minds. That's the one that's going to ask you to liberate tons and tons of NPCs from various regions. So just do the same thing I did. Knock them out. Wave your staff over their face. And they'll be like, oh snap, I totally want to fight with you now. It's long, it's protracted, it's very annoying. It's my least favorite quest in the game. And it's mandatory. You have to do it. Or maybe you don't, but you have to do it for some kind of achievement, I think. In any case, I did it because I paid money for this DLC, so might as well. And I can't really give an adequate, opinion or thought on an experience unless I experience everything within it, so that's all the more reason to do everything on offer, even if some of it is considerably weaker than the rest. But anyway, we're going to make our way up here. I will say the environments in this DLC are incredible, and I anticipate that the ones in the deeper depths of Hades, like Asphodel and such, will be more awesome and gloomy. So here's the Spartan warrior we've been told so much about.
Leonidas!
You have the eyes of my daughter. So something did survive that day. How do you have this?
Mirini. She's my mother. I'm here because I need your help. I need you to fight.
I have found peace here. Why would I fight?
We are few and they are many. Persephone has an army. Adonis fights for freedom, but without help, we don't stand a chance.
We'll need to use the terrain to our advantage.
So you'll fight with us?
Not until you fight me. You say you're Marini's daughter. I want to see how she trained you.
Okay, we're gonna open with a Hero Strike. This puts Hero Strike on cooldown. And then we're gonna build up Poison Gauge so that all our attacks deal more damage. Our adrenaline is full, so we're gonna hit him with an Overpower attack.
You fight well.
We're gonna hit him some more, and then we're gonna shoot him with some arrows because our poison will run out. We're gonna hit him with another Overpower attack. At this point we only have 3 bars of adrenaline, so we're gonna hit him with another Hero Strike, which is now off cooldown. And now we need meter again, so we're gonna build this by shooting him with poison, capping out his poison gauge again. I want him to be actually poisoned as much as possible. So when that gauge hits 0, or when I anticipate it hitting 0, I want to rebuild it before hitting him with my actual moves. And we're gonna hit him with Fury of the Bloodline, which locks us into an animation and restores our meter. We're gonna hit him with a Hero Strike. Hero Strike goes on cooldown, so we need to wait again. He gets up, I hit him with another long animation that we're both trapped in. While this is going on, our Hero Strike is coming back off cooldown, but I hit him with a final arrow. So
I could have used you at Thermopylae.
You could have used a lot of people at Thermopylae.
I am glad this spear is in your hands. I will fight with you. You have my word as a Spartan.
Thank you, grandfather.
that's the basics of how you fight in this game. in the safest possible way.
Good, you're just in time. A woman in Stroma needs your help.
What does she need?
Helping her will bring us closer to breaking Persephone's grasp on Elysium.
What's special about her?
She's an orator who'd be willing to join Adonis's rebellion. That man has beautiful lips, but a silver tongue like hers is necessary to inspire the public.
Then it sounds like we need her. I'll come back when I'm done.
At this point I realize this is pretty far, so I fly up into Kiros and fast travel to that perch.
There she is.
Elysium is a paradise crafted by Her Majesty, Persephone herself. Who are you? Who sent you?
I'm an ally to Adonis.
Don't speak of the rebellion so loudly. Persephone has ears everywhere.
Just tell me what you need me to do.
Free the villagers being held captive in Persephone's broken daydream. My son, Theron, is working there as a guard against his will. It's like Persephone possessed his mind. Can you help him too?
I'll see what I can do.
So, fun fact, imagine you have visited this location before, and you have, you know, accidentally killed that guy eons before you even got this quest. You know, you had no idea who he even was. You killed that guy anyway, you would basically be fucked for this objective, and you basically lose that narrative branch. So no matter what happens, I was unable to save this guy due to actions that I could never have predicted, pretty much. So I very wisely decide to land on the ground so that I can use Rush Assassinate to clear the detection here. Because if I had started pelting arrows at them, that would have been a very long and protracted fight. Whereas this is relatively instant. I know there's a guy here, so I'm gonna distract him. And as I distract him, I'll pop open that cage. And that's the objective, and we're out of here. Quick and easy.
Better let the Silver Tongue know I couldn't save Theron.
You're back! Where is my Theron?
I wasn't able to save him.
Theron, my dear boy. The others, tell me you have better news of them.
They've made their way safely to Iapetos' ruins already. You'll find them there.
As promised, I'll join the rebels. What message would you like me to spread once I'm there?
Let the humans know that Adonis will lead them to freedom. Only he has their interests at heart, not Persephone.
Your words shall be spoken. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, very, very pretty environments, as I said. And the way down is not so tough, it's pretty much just as easy as the way up.
The Silver Tongue is on her way to help the rebellion. She'll bring in plenty of recruits. Adonis will be pleased.
Relieving Persephone of her power is what's important. Don't concern yourself with that man's feelings. Or your feelings for him.
Adonis is a friend. Nothing more.
Make sure it stays that way.
What's it to you?
Divine love affairs never end well for the humans involved. Stay out of them. And stay focused on the task at hand. Now, a young woman is suffering from a terrible affliction. She's agreed to help the rebellion if we provide a cure. However, Persephone long ago outlawed the water that can relieve this woman and destroy the last of it.
Let me guess. Or so she thought.
There are rumors that someone hid a final vial of it in a cave off of Hypnosis Path. Retrieve it and bring it to her.
I'll return when I've delivered the water.
Remember, it's forbidden. You can't be seen when you bring it to the villa in Adonis's garden.
Great, so now we're gonna go retrieve some of that water that helps people forget stuff. This is a pretty quick objective, I find. It's one of the ones that I enjoyed more because it has a cool story attached to it. You go to some cool locations, and there's some manner of creativity involved in solving it. Not that we personally are going to be terribly creative, but you know, it's there if you really want it to be. I actually had to develop a way to go into this water smoothly without getting stuck on obstacles, because quite a few times Kassandra would just refuse to do what I wanted her to with regard to getting in here. Just get stuck on an edge, refuse to jump in, stuff like that. So there's a bunch of colossi here, we don't care about them, and they don't care about us, more importantly. They're mostly just there to... Well, actually, I don't know why they're there.
This area will be well defended.
One would think it's to deter you from getting detected up here, but... You know, that doesn't really matter. So that guy is super dead. We're gonna climb up here and... get behind this pillar. This guy's gonna come this way. I'll drag him into this bush, hit him with the old stabby stabby. This gentleman will conveniently walk our way as well. The same fate will befall him. We're in a cloak because it's broken. Loot this. And that's really all we need. Very fast. Very easy. There's just colossi here. We haven't been detected, so they don't care.
You entered the cave. You must have found what was left of Lethi's water.
I did.
Oh, have mercy and let me have just a sip. I lost my wife in Tartaros and her screams still haunt me in my dreams. Please, put them to rest.
Well, I guess it can't hurt. But just a sip. Someone else needs this.
Who are you? Never mind. I don't think it matters.
So that's a pretty powerful liquid that essentially makes you lose all your memories of everything? Either that or just the emotional attachments you had.
Now to bring it to Ekati's contact.
And this cutscene is mandatory to show you what actually happens if you give it to a human. And because it's gonna be all like, oh, you have a decision to make and all that. So now that we are out of the restricted area, we're gonna call for Phobos. Jump on Phobos. I realize it's pretty far. Or is it? It could be farther, I guess. But yeah, this is what I meant earlier. There's just lots of movement across wide terrain. Not just in this DLC, but in these newer games in general, which I don't enjoy as much as the vertical world design of previous titles, so we're gonna skip it. Fast travel to here. This is a restricted area, so we're going to veer right and move in from this conveniently set up navigation path. We're in a cloak because it's broken.
This looks like the place. You're the contact Ikati described. Do you have Lethi's water? I do, but what's so special about it? I saw a man lose himself after just one sip. Humans here drink Lethi's water to forget their past lives and reincarnate back into the world of the living. But Persephone won't let any of us leave Elysium so long as she's trapped here too. I lost my soulmate. I can't go back in time, but I can forget that pain. Now, give me the water. Here, drink this. For you, my poor Theron. I'll join you in mindless bliss. I must say, I feel a touch woozy.
Bam.
How am I going to get you to Adonis now?
Easy, by carrying her on your back. Layla be like, aw shit, here we go again. Like, she carried so many people as Bayek in Origins, and now this. So this is a bit of a silly move. It's actually not, it's not required. What you notice there is that the guard closer to me didn't actually look at the guard being harassed, which means they're out of range to pay attention to each other being disrupted, which in turn means that I could have just ego harassed the closer guard and, you know, been safer and make sure without anyone else being able to notice that. But it didn't really matter because that person never looked at me anyway. I wasn't in line of sight, so it's not optimal, it's just a wasted action, but it's also not, like, detrimental.
What happened to her?
She took a sip of Lethi's water. I gave her the last vial.
What? Why would you do that?
She didn't want to be sentenced to eternal heartbreak after losing her love in Elysium.
That I can understand, at least.
Yeah, Adonis is a very...
His name. Theron.
The Silver-Tongued Son? I suppose since he couldn't be saved. Still, watch your back with Ikati, Kassandra. She can't be trusted.
Yeah, Adonis is a very heart-driven, emotionally driven individual, so that kind of reasoning and that kind of justification and rationalization really works well on him. Thanks, Odyssey. I'm gonna fast travel over to this place. And come over here all sneaky like.
I've already received word that you accomplished just what I asked. Good.
And what did you ask Kassandra to do for you?
Persephone.
Rumor has it Lethe's water has once again entered circulation in Elysium. Don't you dare try to talk your way out of this. You are the only person who knows what Lethe's water means to me.
I'm sorry.
You would never understand the intricacies of a divine creation like Lethe's water, but I won't forget what part you played here.
Persephone, I was only trying to...
I'll be watching you more closely from now on, friend.
She's like, wow, snake.
This wasn't
Stab
about
me in the
helping
back,
Adonis at all.
skank.
You knew that woman would be no use to the rebellion after drinking the water.
The woman did promise her help. That wasn't a lie. As for my motives, I've told you from the start they are mine alone to know. But if humans so desperately desire to move on from their pasts, Persephone shouldn't make that choice for them.
If humans want to drink from Lethe's river, it's a choice they can make for themselves. With or without Persephone's permission.
I wasn't asking for your opinion on the matter. I need some time alone, away from your mindless chatter.
Bitch. Fine then. Go isolate yourself and be all stupid about it. Really, she's just salty that we're undermining her plans.
You've had your alone time. Tell me what's next.
You're keeping up. Good. There's one more place we must weaken Persephone before our time together draws to a close. Her most devoted followers are gathering in a villa near Persephone's embrace. These are the most vile humans in Elysium that serve her every whim and dark desire.
Are they under her possession?
You might say they're more obsessed than possessed. But if you're thinking you can save these humans, you're sorely mistaken. Persephone's hold on them is too strong.
Until now, you've been helping humans, not hurting them.
I'm helping people who help us, and hurting people who stand in our way. Try to stay with me, won't you?
So, what do you have in mind for Persephone's followers?
Poison in their wine should do the trick. Unfortunately, the wolf nearby ate the last of my aconite. You'll need to hunt it and extract the poison from its liver. The symposium shouldn't be too difficult to infiltrate, but once you're there, try to blend in with the other Persephone-obsessed humans.
I'll find the poison and infiltrate the symposium.
Don't worry. There'll be plenty of time to leave once the humans start drinking. Good luck.
That's the poison.
You're supposed to kill a green-colored wolf in order to get this poison, but I've already done it before triggering this quest, so the item was already in my inventory, and we're just gonna go to the party. Funny enough, the poison used here, aconite, in Assassin's Creed Unity, it's revealed that it is, I quote, a favorite of the Templars. So, Templars really like aconite, I guess. And if I had any faith in the newer Assassin's Creed writing teams, I would say that that's a very deliberate reference, and that it's something spooky and something to keep an eye on, like why is Hecate and in turn Kassandra using aconite? Like, ooh, what does it mean? But with how things are going nowadays, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a poison. So this party doesn't have any gameplay associated, it's pretty much exclusively a story-based mission. There's a bunch of conversations, you gotta talk to a bunch of people. You can give them right or wrong answers, but it ultimately doesn't matter and it doesn't really change anything. The only thing that affects things is at the very end, the decision you make there.
A fresh face. Is this your first time at a devoted follower symposium?
Yes.
Don't look so nervous, friend. Why don't you go meet some people, and then we will toast to our new arrivals. Oh, if you're at a loss for words, let other members know whether you think Adonis or Hermes is Persephone's soulmate. We debate that for hours here.
The Persephone fandom is strong in Elysium. They're like, yo man, which one is the superior ship? So we're gonna spike the shit out of that.
Who do you think Persephone's soulmate is? The god or the human?
Adonis.
Easily.
Persephone adores him.
A while ago I would have agreed with you, but everyone knows Adonis has been slamming it with some human lately. Persephone deserves better.
Adonis is like the only one of the two who isn't like stupid and irritating and just silly to look at and interact with in every way. God, he's such a terrible character. I really hate Hermes in this DLC. Like, and I don't hate him the way I hate Cesare, for example.
We just got word that Persephone is expanding her palace. Should she build into the east or west of Elysium?
I legit think he's just terribly written.
Only the best for Persephone, so... east.
What? No! There's nothing for her to see in the east. What's she going to stare at? A cat's hovel? That makes no sense.
They got all salty. It's like, yo, you asked for my opinion. Don't choke on your sodium when I speak my mind. That's what would happen if I actually made a best to worst Assassin's Creed game ranking video. People would be like, you what, mate?
I know they're old rumors, but what do you think of the whispers that Hecate seeks to steal Persephone's throne for herself? They look like good friends to me. You know, I completely agree. Persephone needs someone like Hecate by her side supporting her. I'm ready for the toast.
You know, everyone is saying what a great conversationalist you are. So knowledgeable about Persephone. You'll be a perfect fit here.
These people really don't seem as corrupt as Hecate made them out to be.
Yeah, they're just people.
Everyone gather to toast our new members.
Wait, the wine was... well, I poisoned it.
After we welcomed you so warmly, you're no friend. Guards!
This is kind of aggravating. I just saved your lives. Like, imagine if they, if I hadn't said anything, they would die. Like they would straight up just die.
The symposium wasn't at all what I expected. Why
Bam, fall forever.
I've been played?
Yeah, I totally have been played. Alright, so that's been that. Again, not a very interesting mission, but a necessary one.
There she is.
How's Leonidas fitting in?
Morale's never been higher. Scouts are reporting Persephone's influence is weakening across Elysium. You're definitely causing havoc out there.
I won't rest until it's done.
You know, I'm starting to think Elysium isn't such a bad place with you in it.
Yes. If only you weren't in love with Aphrodite, and trying to overthrow the queen, and everyone else wasn't dead, Elysium would be perfect.
All I'm saying is you breathe life into this world filled with dead people. Anyhow, we have a bit of a situation.
Of course we do.
Persephone's guards have cut off supply lines, overtaken hideouts, secrets and locations she couldn't possibly have known without inside help. We suspect there is a spy in our midst.
Who?
One is a messenger. She was sent with crucial information to one of our camps. When she didn't return, we sent a scout. The entire camp was killed, and she was nowhere to be found. The other is a blacksmith. Soldiers love to gossip while getting their blades sharpened. We think he may have overheard some of our plans.
That's a good start.
They both have homes in the village. Return to me once you're done.
Alright, so now we're just gonna do a little bit of an investigation.
This must be the messenger's house. Broken piece from one of the torches of Hypnos I destroyed. So Persephone knows we've recruited Leonidas. Detailed information about one of Adonis's rebel camps. Definitely the house of a blacksmith. A list of people Adonis has spent time with. Mine and Persephone's names are on this. A note written to Aphrodite. The blacksmith told her everything. Adonis's escape plans, the rebellion.
Alright, so now we know what's going on. We're gonna report, and we're going to be asked to choose who to kill.
And who's the dirty spy? The messenger or the blacksmith?
Both have been spying on you. Both have information that could undo your rebellion.
Lousy malacas. My scouts tell me they're on the move. We only have time to dispose of one before they disappear completely. Which is more dangerous to our cause?
The blacksmith. I'll go after him.
Last I heard, he was spotted near the village.
Alright, so we're gonna go wreck the blacksmith. And depending on what you choose here, it does change things a little bit. This has been a little bit of a frustrating moment, I think. I probably shouldn't have taken this approach, because it's just a lot of moving around, and AC Origins and AC Odyssey's lateral movement, like side-to-side movement on walls and buildings, is not very good. But, yeah, that could have gone worse, so not bad. And there's the guy.
Making me chase you will make your death even worse! Blacksmith
Bam!
was working for Aphrodite. This news could break Adonis's heart.
So thankfully she's not received this letter just yet, because we took it off his corpse, which is very nice.
This area's off limits, Mistios.
Got to be careful not to get spotted.
We're gonna leap down here, leap down here. Call Phobos. And just ride the rest of the way, because it shouldn't be a terribly long distance. There's a warp point up here. And boom.
The blacksmith is dead.
That's something at least. There was an ambush. The messenger led Persephone's guards to one of our camps. No one survived. The messenger escaped.
Adonis, I'm not sure how to tell you this. The blacksmith was working for Aphrodite.
What? Why would you say that? My love, why?
No one in Elysium is who they claim to be.
I must escape this world of lies.
Our next move needs to be swift and deadly.
Meet me later at the palace of the Colossi. I've acquired a little something that will turn Persephone's paradise upside down.
Nice. He's got a plan.
You look concerned.
I'm worried about Persephone.
Persephone can look after herself.
She's incredible. I agree, but these are strange times. I've heard that some ungrateful delinquents plot against her.
These ungrateful delinquents, could they be right?
Bah! You give them too much credit. Still, Persephone needs protection.
Don't look at me.
There's a friend of mine and your father's, Kiros of Xarax. He's a strong and honorable warrior. He's been abducted, but if we could free him...
You're suggesting we make a human Persephone's bodyguard?
With Kiros at the ready. The humans will think twice before attacking one of their own.
Say no more. I'll find Kiros for you.
Ah, I knew I could trust you. While you're gone, I'll arrange a meeting with Persephone. Bring Kiros to the heart of Elysium. We'll be there.
Okay. So it says to go unrecognized, equip an Isu helmet, which is not something I've actually tried, because at no point during playing this mission have I ever had an Isu helmet. But if you happen to be playing this yourself after, either for the first time or replaying it, then just try to get here with an Isu helmet and let me know if it actually works the way it claims to work, like if you'll avoid detection and all that. Or if it doesn't affect detection, but it just affects like whether they recognize you as the guy who's been helping Adonis the whole time.
I should stay hidden if I don't want to fight.
Or girl, I should say. I think it would be too much to expect that they have actual social stealth here. So ideally we just don't kill anyone.
You have the stuff?
Kiros of Xarax. Hermes sent me.
That keymaker is predictable. I'll give him that much.
So if you go over here, he'll make his way down on his own.
So, how do you get that stuff?
Pythagoras was my father. Things happened. Now it's mine.
Ah, that right? That makes us family. I knew the man well.
I heard. This way. Persephone's waiting.
Persephone herself? This is going to be easier than I thought.
Wait. What's going to be easier? All right, Kiros. Let's make this quick. You said this is going to be easier than you thought.
Since we're basically family, I'm trusting your honor. I work for Adonis.
But you were caged by humans.
Yes, and Hermes found out about it. Right around the time Persephone was coaxed into deciding she needs a bodyguard.
You staged the whole thing and you're using Hermes to infiltrate Persephone's lair? You're no simple warrior.
Before I met your father, I had 4 sons. each a warrior. When my third boy fell in battle, there was only guilt. I'd cried all my tears for the first two.
Go on.
And with the fourth, I felt longing. Sadness had become my only friend. And I had no one left to grieve. Warriors don't bring peace. They bring sorrow.
So by getting behind Persephone's defenses, you think you can prevent war? You could convince her to surrender or distract her while Adonis escapes.
Anything but battle. But before we go to Persephone, I have to send confirmation this plan worked. Will you take me?
Fine, but be quick. We need to go to Persephone and Hermes. They're waiting. You really think you can save lives?
I'm not sure how death works in Elysium, but suffering is eternal. And that is something I can't stop.
Come on.
So we're gonna follow this guy, he's gonna tell us to kill a few people, we're gonna rush assassinate them, and it's gonna be GG.
Let's go.
Alright, that's pretty much it. Easy, simple, clean.
Come on.
And he takes my horse. Okay. And now he gets off. I don't know what this guy's doing, honestly.
That's all of them. Let's keep moving.
Once Adonis hears my plan worked, maybe he'll stand down.
Hurry, Kiros. We need to get back to Hermes, or Persephone might suspect something.
I hear Persephone likes to test her new recruits. And I've got a bit of a temper. If you see me turning red...
I'll think of something. Come on.
This is actually really good. Missing one horse will cause the NPC to climb onto the other one with you, and that's really helpful and really useful because it means that both of your characters are in the exact same, time and space. You don't have to wait for him to follow you. You're in control of both of your positions at the same time.
Where have you been? No one keeps Persephone waiting.
It got complicated. We took a less direct route.
What matters, Hermes, is I'm freed thanks to you. When I go to my queen, I will make sure she's grateful to you for my service.
Explain it to Persephone. She's waiting.
I'll make sure she knows this was entirely my fault, not yours.
I'm sorry I was ungrateful. Kiros will make a strong guard. Thank you again, friend.
Here, Hermes.
These are dark times for Elysium. Those delinquent fools have robbed even me.
What did they take?
I fashioned a key, a recipe if you will, for an eternal flame. I intended to gift it to Persephone. With it, she could shine her light, even in the underworld.
No matter who the ruler is, if you give her fire, you're going to get burned.
You still don't understand. Persephone wants to protect us from the dark horrors in the underworld. With the flame, she could.
So write the recipe again.
What I wrote took lifetimes. We can't let it stay in the hands of humans who would use it against her. Keep her. Kassandra, we have to steal it back.
I'll take back this recipe, but only because I don't think anyone should have access to a flame that never dies.
These are desperate times. You've seen the cloud these delinquents cast on our golden fields.
I said I'd get it.
I thank you. You are quickly becoming my friend and ally.
I'll find the rebels and get your recipe.
That's all I ask. If you are spotted or cause a commotion, we risk retaliation. Go unseen.
Hermes' voice doesn't fit his character at all. There's just so much wrong with that guy. Here's the teleporter right here. We're gonna hop off, warp up, pretty simple. In here there's gonna be a bit of a stealth environment and that we're gonna have to sneak through, find some clues, find what we're looking for, and then get back out. Ideally we don't get seen and we don't kill anyone. That's probably not going to go the way we expect. That's okay, because the only ire that will fall is on Hermes. So I'm gonna knock this guy out for meter.
Hermes asked me to go unseen.
So I think that voided it right there. Because like you're ideally not supposed to touch anyone. I'm gonna interact with this body from like as close to the wall as possible.
But it's been ripped. Where's the rest of it?
Yeah. The full note is not, the full recipe and the full note is not there. So we need to find the rest of it. This guy's looking at me, so I'm gonna cloak because it's broken. Long dodging through grass is also very strong. It lets you move without sacrificing stealth. Like, it lets you move quickly, I mean, without sacrificing stealth. A lot of the time in most games, remaining undetected and moving quickly are mutually exclusive. And one of the strongest things you can find, discover, or learn how to do in a stealth game, or in a game with stealth mechanics, because I wouldn't really call this a stealth game, is to figure out how to do both at the same time. So this guy detects me, we're gonna rush assassinate him so he doesn't call for help. And that's why we built that meter earlier. Climb over here. Drop down. Cloak for good measure. Get in this bush. We're gonna probably wait for this fellow to walk past, because if we loot or interact with any items we will decloak and they'll totally be able to see us if we do that. So they're not in line of sight, or I'm not in line of sight of them, and we're going to get the heck out. This is a useful looking tree. My main goal now is to get out of this restricted area so I can fast travel back to where I need to. Yeah, this area is freaking huge. But finally, around here-ish, we find a place to go. I jump down here. I think this guy gets a glimpse of me. I'm gonna jump forward some more, get out of line of sight. And that's pretty much that place vacated. Now this place is close enough in terms of horizontal movement, but vertically it's far as hell, so we're gonna warp up to it. And here's our dude Hermes, who's not gonna be super happy about what we'll have to tell him.
We need to get the recipe back.
About that. Here it is.
You've spared this realm great suffering, my friend. I wonder, were you spotted?
Of course not. But Hermes...
Good. We don't risk retaliation.
I'm keeping these torn notes. If rebellion is coming, this power could be used to light all of Elysium on fire.
Perhaps you're right. So long as you swear to me you'll guard this secret with your life, I can rest knowing Persephone will never be touched by this flame.
Hermes, things are worse in Elysium than I've been letting on. The rebels are organized and ready to fight. War is coming.
We must crush the force behind the chaos. Let's fight for Persephone.
You're so worried about Persephone, you can't even see you're in just as much danger.
You kept the eternal flame out of the hands of the humans, and you went unseen. We have the upper hand. We just have to strike.
Calm yourself, Hermes. It's not like you're going to go on a rampage.
And why not? There are so-called captains guiding the human forces. They invited chaos into this realm, so let's show them chaos.
At least when you asked me to steal, it was from thieves. You're not a murderer, Hermes.
You made me look like a fool when I sent you to Kiros. But I can still come back from that, and prove my worth.
I told you, we were diverted.
It doesn't matter. Please, I'm begging you, my friend. Help me to help her.
You think that your obsession with Persephone entitles you to her love? It doesn't. She will never love you, Hermes. And no amount of killing will change that.
Enough!
Alright, so you get a little boss fight. You can't actually kill this guy here, but you can defeat him temporarily. My assassin damage on melee % chance procced there. Utterly decimated.
You're going to kill him!
What are you doing here?
Don't question me. Thank me for stopping you both before you do something you regret.
This isn't over!
Stand down, both of you. You still have your parts to play in all of this. Now stop bickering and fulfill them.
Alright, that's that. So you will fight this guy again later, but he will have much more health than he did here. And at this point we're gonna have that smooth transition.
What do you think about my southern realm? I don't come here much anymore.
It's lovely.
I try to offer a comfortable home to the glorious dead. It helps them accept their fate and keeps them from wandering too far. So when a human wanders and doesn't return, I can't help but take it personally.
What am I doing here?
When Leonidas was alive, he brought chaos and bloodshed. Hermes spotted him mingling with delinquents recently. We can't have him falling into old habits. If he won't fight with me, then he won't fight at all.
Hermes is exaggerating. When I heard Leonidas was in Elysium, I went to see him. He's found peace here. He's no threat to you.
Hermes told me why you're really in Elysium. That staff of yours. Cross me and you'll fail. But Leonidas means a lot to you. I understand this will be difficult, which is why I'm willing to make you a deal.
What kind of deal?
Bring me the body of Leonidas, and I will bring back a departed beloved of your choosing.
You can do that?
I'm queen of the dead, darling. I can do anything. So, who does Kassandra want back in her life?
I find it hilarious that Natakas is not a choice here.
Protect Elysium from chaos, and you'll see your loved one again.
But yeah, we chose Phoebe because it's the one that makes the most sense. To me, anyway. Isn't that what this whole game is about? My Odyssey.
Even in paradise, people want my family dead. Is killing my grandfather worth bringing someone back to life? What are you doing out here?
There is something I wanted to ask you. Will you fish with me? This is nice.
There are so many things I want to talk about.
Talk then.
After everything you lost at Thermopylae, your men, your wife, your children, Sparta, in the end, was it worth it?
Who rules the Greek world right now?
Greeks.
Then my answer is yes.
Mater told me of our bloodline and our ancestors. Did you know?
Only what my mother told me. We were born from greatness, and we were destined for greatness. The world was divided in two. Those who wanted us dead, and those who would follow us to the gates of Hades.
I imagine the spear was in one piece when it was given to you.
My mother handed it to me when I was a boy. Said it came with a certain burden, but...
You were ready. It's so peaceful here.
I think I got a bite. Get a basket, quickly.
Grandfather,
You are here to kill me. In Sparta, we were trained to spot predators, long before they pounced.
I need Persephone's approval, but she sees you as a threat. If I don't take care of that threat...
Why not bring her the head of a greater threat?
Who's a greater threat than you? Actually, there is someone. A spy. I delivered him to Persephone as a bodyguard, but he's working against her from the inside.
I am only a threat to her soldiers on the battlefield. A spy threatens the heart of Elysium. Bring her his corpse, and she should be satisfied.
Thank you, Grandfather. We should go fishing more often. Persephone won't like this. Maybe if I bring Kiros alive, she can deal with the traitor herself.
Okay, so at this point we've decided that we're going to bring Kiros, and the game kind of does look a weird, unsatisfying kind of thing here, where it sort of makes you, you know, either sacrifice Leonidas or Kiros, but it doesn't really land for me because I don't really feel anything either way. Like, I'm keeping Leonidas alive because he's cool and badass, and there's really no genuine consequences for doing so. And, you know, ultimately we didn't need Kiros that much anyway. Like, we were fully prepared to take her down with or without him, so it doesn't really matter. Now, what we're gonna do when we get up here is we're going to climb up to the top of this area. So we found our man, he's right there.
There he is.
We're not going to worry about him for now, because if you see at the bottom we only have one adrenaline chip. That's not very nice. We would like to have more. And unfortunately, because we can't just throw Kassandra onto a roller coaster, she is going to have to get her adrenaline the old-fashioned way, which is to say, by brutally committing homicide. So we're gonna... Okay, staring right at us, so we're gonna pop cloak, move up here. That's a kill. That is tasty, tasty meter. Other dudes looking at us, we're gonna pop cloak again, come back. We're at about half, sitting pretty on a good amount of resources, and now we can pretty easily take this guy down. So, we'll begin with a critical assassinate, continue into a hero strike, and again, I do have to take this guy alive. I'm gonna wait until he gets up so that my overpower attack can lock him into an animation. Gonna hit him a little, back away. Switch to non-lethal arrows, which I don't have. So I'm gonna go to inventory, craft those up to the max, and then we're going to switch to our hunter loadout, which does more arrow damage and is specifically designed for situations like this. This guy's like just stood still for a moment, so I was like, what? Confused me too. Hit him with a devastating shot, does a lot of damage. He's pretty easy to dodge when you know what he's gonna do. Okay. And that should be that. So now we're gonna pick him up. And getting this guy down is always so frustrating for me, because the game just does not love to, you know, respond and recognize and just accept your inputs whenever you want to carry bodies down cliffs. Alright, so that's that. We're gonna call our horse, put this guy on the horse, then we're gonna skip over to when we're gonna take the guy off the horse and bring him to the queen. See, if she was really beastly, she'd be an empress, but whatever. She's weak sauce.
Kiros of Zarax? This isn't who I asked for.
He's a spy working for the rebellion.
But you're the one who first brought him to me.
I didn't know his intentions.
I trusted you. Guards!
Persephone, listen to me. Hermes is right. Trouble's brewing in Elysium. Even though Leonidas is against you, you are much stronger than he is. But Kiros was an enemy you couldn't see. That made him far more dangerous to you and Elysium.
But he's still breathing.
Death is a gift traitors don't deserve. I thought you'd want to deal with him yourself.
Defying me comes at a cost. Our deal is off. But for bringing me this vile deceiver, you may stay. Figure out that mysterious little staff of yours.
Okay. So now we're kind of heading into the end game of episode 1. Where all the preparations have kind of started being made.
I've given you everything. What more can I do?
You won't let me leave.
To be with her? Never. I never wanted this. I only turned this world into paradise to make it bearable. And then you arrived and made me blossom.
Please, just let me go.
If you truly wanted to leave, you'd have already done it. Or have you forgotten? I wonder if Aphrodite would still love you if she knew what a coward you were.
Not having second thoughts, are you?
She's right. I am a coward. She gave me the chance to leave once. All I had to do was fight, and I couldn't. I'm sorry, I can't do this. It's too big.
Adonis, I want you to close your eyes and imagine Aphrodite. Don't let Persephone make you forget why you're fighting.
You're right. It's Persephone's greatest talent, making us forget the ones we love.
Keeps people from wanting to leave.
Let's remind them, shall we? At the base of the palace of the Colossi, you'll find one of Hermes' inventions, stolen from his workshop. It's said to destroy everything it touches.
What are we destroying?
Atop the palace is where Persephone keeps her sleeping Colossi. Bring the device there and make sure they never wake again. The smoke will let every rebel camp in Elysium know the time to strike is now.
What are we waiting for?
Try not to kill anyone. Success without detection and death is sure to convert more non-believers to our cause.
Alright, so basically he wants us to go non-lethal. He wants us to not kill anyone. He wants us to never be seen. This is easier than it might at first glance appear, because for the most part you will not actually encounter guards, and in the one area that guards are quite prevalent, there's also a lot of, you know, stealth bushes and cover and grass to move through, so it's not an issue. So it's funny, this device is pretty much a bomb. Literally, it's just like a bomb. So this kind of technology doesn't make sense for ancient Greece, but it does make sense for the Isu era. And this is like one of the things in this DLC that I actually really like. Because, you know, it looks all fantastical and it looks all, you know, mythological and godly and it looks like paradise and all beautiful, but here is Kassandra literally carrying a bomb, like straight up an explosive, ready to sabotage and destroy the enemy's, you know, robots, which is kind of awesome, and it's kind of Assassin's Creed-y, and I really like that kind of stuff in this franchise. Like,
better stay hidden.
It's silly, but I like it when Assassin's Creed feels like Assassin's Creed, and this is a moment that, oh, get off the wall. This is a moment that I, you know, really appreciate. So, this is me trying to be a cheeky bastard. You can actually just squeeze through here and kind of, you know, do that. You know, usually you would have to move in from above, but screw that. I'm gonna ping here just to make sure there's no one super close by. And then I will show you by dropping a marker from all the way up here which direction we're going to go in. So you see that stealth grass on the left there? We're basically going to be moving through that. I wish you could place multiple markers with Senu and Ikaros, like you can with Metal Gear Solid 5's iDroid, because that would allow planning stealth movements to be much more interesting and enjoyable. Like you could have routes of, like you could set up your pathing beforehand, kind of, from a bird's eye view, and that's a feature that I thought was really cool in MGS5 when they showcased it in gameplay demos and things like that. I don't know if we'll ever have another eagle. It's looking like we probably will because Ubisoft aren't really fans of Eagle Vision anymore. They don't really like to have classic mechanics present, so I guess birds are the order of the day. Which, you know, I kind of have mixed feelings about. Like, the mechanic is cool, but I feel like with Senu, it really resonated and it really made sense. Having Ikaros also exist and behave the exact same way, it just cheapens and weakens how cool Senu was. Because Senu wasn't just a mechanic, Senu was also a character. But when the way they play is so similar, it really undermines the personality of both of these birds, and it really kind of reminds you that, oh, it's just a gameplay system. It's not, you know, it breaks the illusion a little bit, and I think that really sucks. I would have liked Senu to just be Senu, and for Ikaros not to exist, and for the knowledge gathering mechanic of this game to just be Revelation from the Spear of Leonidas, which would also resonate much more with this game's themes, which is holding a piece of Eden the whole time. You know, imagine if you had to rely on that wholly, and then losing your spear during certain segments. You know, you lose your abilities, you lose your eagle vision, effectively. You lose your knowledge gathering mechanic. Like, imagine cool stuff like that. Like, they could have done so many interesting things with this game, and I feel like they just didn't. And, you know, that's something that I'll always kind of mourn a little bit, and something I'll always kind of lament. Like, I know that a lot of people like this game. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I think that it has interesting things going on, but ultimately, like, it's not what I play Assassin's Creed for, and it's also not what a lot of people play Assassin's Creed for. I'm talking a lot about my feelings on the franchise right now because there's really nothing to do in this mission. It's just movement. Like, there's nothing to commentate here. Actually, that's kind of been the case for this entire run. Like, there's nothing to commentate. Like, what do you even say? I am gonna use Eagle Harass to stun that guard to guarantee that I can, you know, run past them. Also, it's funny that objectives like this do exist, because what you may not realize at first glance is that these are effectively full sync requirements. You know, when they're like, oh, don't get seen and don't kill anyone, because that would, like, branch the story a little bit, right? That's a full sync objective. It's not packaged as one, but it's a frickin' full sync objective. Like, when you really think about it, it's pretty obvious that that's what it is. And people are like, oh man, I'm so happy that, like, full syncs are gone. They're not gone. They're still there. They're just super, super rare, and they're not interesting anymore. I get confused for a little bit in the stupidest way here. Like, I jump over this, and then I completely forget, like, oh man, like, what do I have to do here? Like, do I have to break this stuff? How do I get through, like, this wall over here? And then I'm like, wait, I literally just hopped over this short little wall here. What the hell am I doing? I'm like, oh, duh. Like, come on, Leo. Brain, please. And that's pretty much it. You bring this up here, and you blow them all up. She kinda catches wind of that and sees us blowing up her army, and she's like, yo, terrorists? In my paradise? It's more likely than you think.
When we first met, I laughed when you said you wanted to escape Elysium.
And now?
I pity the god who stands in your way.
So what will you do?
I have some preparations to make before our final assault on Persephone's palace.
I meant when this is over.
I'm going to leave Elysium in the hands of the people. Then I'm going straight to Olibos, into the arms of my love.
Sounds like paradise.
You've been a good friend. I never expected to find one here. Come
Right.
find me
Then we're
before
gonna
we
talk
launch
to
our attack.
Persephone, and she's gonna be like, hey, can you check something for me?
Persephone, I was looking for a Kati.
I can't imagine what you need her for, but never mind. Do you know what the hardest part is about my life here?
I don't.
It's not knowing who to trust. Ekati has been my dearest friend ever since my mother, the meteor, sent her to me. But after that nonsense with Lethe's water, I've been keeping a closer eye on her. Ekati always tells me where she's going, but not this time. My spies tell me she's about to resurface for a secret meeting at Iphigenia's compound.
Sounds like the meeting's not so secret anymore.
That's where you come in. Spy on her and report back to me. I'm trusting you with this. Please, don't let me down.
Looks like this is my chance to find out what Ekati's up to, too. The watch will be vigilant here.
So, you gotta sneak into this place, and it's like, oh, there's a bunch of guards. It's so tense, it's so scary. You gotta make sure you're not caught or whatever, because then you'll have to fight, and fighting is, you know, it sucks. But then, you remember that Shadow of Nyx exists, and we're going to use it, because it's broken. Okay, let me correct. Shadow of Nyx is not broken. The Pilgrim set is broken. Like, you can just do this forever and skip content, and it's awesome.
I was wondering when you would arrive, locksmith.
You know, I prefer Keymaker.
Your mastery of language is overwhelming as always. How you stay so humble is beyond me.
You know why I'm here, Ekati. We need to talk about your newfound friend, the Keeper.
Don't worry. I didn't tell Kassandra about the key to the underworld, you cleverly
I love this
disguised
scene
it
because
from
it's like,
cover.
gee, I sure hope no one overhears us.
Persephone's palace.
It's not about that. I know you've been spending a lot of time together, and undermining Persephone in the process.
Kassandra has been undermining Persephone, not me. At least that's what Persephone will see when I'm through.
I'm all too familiar with your ability to whisper in Persephone's ear, but whatever tale you spin for her isn't the truth, is it? You've been trying to push Persephone out of power.
Hermes, you know her quest for control is corrupting her. You must see that Persephone has changed.
The only one who wants control is you. Why can't you support her? It's true. You are jealous of her.
Doing everything Persephone tells you isn't helping her, Hermes. Let alone getting you what you so desperately desire.
Could either of us really help her after what she's gone through? But
You choose to
am
leave
no
here. Because if you stay, then she will... A guard will come in and detect you. And she'll get to Persephone before you do, pretty sure. So just wait twice and leave on the third time.
So Ross's collar is the key to opening the gate to the underworld.
We are going to fast travel over to here. Leap of faith into this stack of flowers. And snitch. Snitch like our life depends on it.
So? What did you find out?
Hekate's been working behind your back.
What folly is this? An outsider accusing me of treason after breaking into your sanctuary.
I couldn't have gotten in if Hekate hadn't given me the key.
But you did break in?
Yes! To steal a journal about the gate to the underworld.
You are the only one with the key.
Kassandra stole it from me. Just like she stole the last of Lethe's water from the cave.
I know you were both involved in the distribution of Lethe's water, but you were the one who handed it to that woman.
The point is, there's been trouble in Elysium ever since you got here. That's no coincidence. You're clearly trying to push Persephone out of power.
I may be working against Persephone, but you've been helping me the entire time.
There! Out of your own mouth! You're trying to overthrow me!
You can't believe these lies! A silver tongue joined the delinquents operating in Defcalion's heritage after this outsider helped her.
The timing is curious.
Furthermore, a gathering of your most devoted followers was recently targeted.
Yes, no one was hurt, but aconite was found in the wine. Your signature death sentence, if I recall correctly.
Curiously, the last of my batch was stolen from me right before the party.
It wasn't me.
Is it a coincidence then, outsider, that someone matching your description was seen fleeing the followers' symposium?
Enough! I have reason to suspect the both of you of treason at this point. Hekate is my oldest friend in the underworld, and for a while I thought my truest. Give me one reason why I should believe your word over hers.
Hekate has always been jealous of you. She wants your power over Elysium for herself.
You can't possibly take the words of an outsider over mine. Persephone.
Hekate's right. I have to be out of my mind to take your word over hers. Nothing's been paradise since you dropped in. You are no longer welcome in my palace.
We've received word those delinquents in Defkelion's heritage are on the move.
Not now.
This is urgent, my queen.
Fine. I'll handle this later.
I should have known you would stab me in the back.
You can't betray someone you never held any loyalty for.
Adonis's troops should be strong enough to
Alright,
take Persephone
and
down.
this is it, the final mission.
I should let him know.
I've had scouts looking everywhere for you. I didn't think to check Persephone's throne room.
You should be thanking me. Persephone knows what we're doing. She's prepared.
That's so? Then we need to strike, and we need to do it now.
For Aphrodite.
And for your freedom to breach the gate out of this realm.
Alright, muster your troops. We're going to battle.
Okay, starting at this point in the game, I don't know if you can hear that weird fizzing sound in the background. This is a persistent audio glitch that just stays on my save file from here on out, and I feel like there's nothing I can do about it. Like, it's just gonna be there, and it's gonna stay there even when we exit out to present day. I don't know what causes it. It starts when this battle starts, and yeah, I just don't know. Anyway, we're going to just start killing these people, first and foremost. That's one down. I really shouldn't be fighting the rest of these guys, there's no need to. And I think I eventually figured it out. I'm like, whatever, screw it. So our objectives are pretty clearly marked here. There are several key targets that we can assassinate during this battle. So we're gonna hit this guy. Bam. Bam. Demolished. Next. Bam, bam, demolished. Next. This Colossus starts to attack us because he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take that girl down. And we're just like, I'm gonna use you to build meter. I'm gonna use meter to deconstruct you. Actually, I'm not even gonna use meter. I just procced my assassin damage on melee thing. Did it again. Daggers are really, really good weapon type for that passive, for that mastery trait, I suppose. Because the amount of damage you do doesn't matter, only the amount of attacks you can spit out in short succession. We're just like decimating these guys. But we burnt all our meter. Gonna hero strike this fellow. He's super dead. And now they're gonna retreat. And I just want to build meter from somebody. Like just anyone. I just want to hit anyone. Nice, got him. And final boss.
Don't get in my way!
Humiliating me? Was it enough? You have to destroy my home, my love?
Hecate isn't here to save you this time. Stand down!
I will not!
It doesn't have to be like this, Hermes.
It could have been different between us. You were my friend, but you've given me no option. I have to protect the one I love.
And combat. Alright. So, I take unneeded damage against this guy, mostly because he summons a Colossus and it's very annoying. But, yeah, as you fight him, I'm just gonna cap out his poison gauge. We will try to use similar philosophies that we did against Leonidas. So, Fury of the Bloodline, very good skill, just gives you meter for free. There's him summoning a Colossus, not fun. Gonna hero strike it. Deals some amount of damage. Pretty good dodge there. I think I'll get slapped by a laser. Yeah. Oh no, actually, somehow I dodged that. But he hits me with his dash. And here's the problem, these guys have a lot of range. The Colossus with its spear, and like look at that, it's ridiculous, and Hermes with his dash attacks. And when they overlay onto each other, that's really, really lethal, extremely dangerous, so like you just don't want to be there, basically. I actually whiffed the hero strike, which makes me kind of mad, because come on, that's such a high value move, you don't want to whiff that. Plus, it's kind of unheard of to be whiffing attacks in Odyssey that sort of snap to and lock onto an enemy like that. So it feels just extra BS, pretty much. But we're gonna Fury of the Bloodline him again. Keep him stuck in an animation so he can't do anything. Drain his health a little bit. The more hits I land on his body, the more likely... Yeah, see, I just got it there. The more likely I get the proc for deal assassin damage on melee hit. I'm gonna heal. That really sucks because I have no meter now. I'm gonna try to click him in the head. Still making a lot of silly mistakes. Hero strike. Generally just a really nice move. It's solid damage. It's not ridiculous, but solid damage nonetheless. Just keep pinging him in the head over and over again. I'm gonna use Chronos time shift and try to land several headshots, build poison gauge. Oh, he actually whiffed that. Good. Gonna hit him with the whiff punish. I'm starting to download his footsies. He's, you know, his neutral game is falling apart. He's trying to hit me with the overhead. Doesn't work. He has pew pew lasers, not very enjoyable, but he should be dead here. There you go.
Stop! Pathetic! You failed me for the last time, Hermes Trismegistus.
And she goes all Al Mualim on our ass. I love how they have circuit lines embedded in their bodies, like the issue we saw in AC2's Adam and Eve, the Truth cinematic, but I don't like that the design is wasted on such crappy characters.
That's it. Persephone's control over Elysium needs to end. Now!
Like, imagine if we got a cool Isu game that actually felt awesome and not like whatever the hell this was. This DLC does continue after this, of course, but this is episode 1, and by the time this is uploaded, episode 2 should actually already be out.
You don't move a muscle.
Don't let her get away with anything. We're in this together. I'll always be at your service.
Even outside of Elysium? If it comes to that?
I'll be there. For now, I'll leave you two. I'm sure there's plenty to talk about.
You're making a huge mistake.
With war brewing outside my window, I wonder what you'd suggest I do instead.
Your beautiful Elysium has turned to rubble, all because of your stubbornness, Persephone.
You fool! I made this place beautiful for you! Nothing I've ever done for your love has been good enough!
You're a prisoner too. You should know it's impossible to love your captor. This is the last time I'll ask. Let us go. Let me go.
You've turned this whole realm against me. But you didn't do it alone. Go. Your friend here won't be as lucky.
Thank you, Persephone. I'm forever grateful. Go easy on Kassandra.
Your turn.
We don't have to do this. Just let me pass through Elysium. Adonis would have rallied the people with or without my help.
You're lying!
Persephone, you don't have to control everything. You're free to let go. Maybe you can finally go home.
You know nothing of what I've been through. I was stolen from your world. I had no choice but to take this one for myself. And this world is mine. Alone.
This is Sparta? No, this is Elysium. And this should be Asphodel. Large dog. So, something very sketch is going on right here. We're gonna be forcibly ripped out of the Animus for reasons.
Victoria,
Unluckily for Abstergo, Layla has access to a weapon so powerful it is unfathomable to humans. The mighty glow stick. I'm gonna take a hit here because the game decides that it doesn't want to cancel into a parry for some reason, even though it's fine every other time. And we just rave it up.
Don't!
Layla!
Tell your boss I'm ready. Also, Berg could come get me himself, if he's not a coward.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What else could I do? They were out to kill us. Even Elysia ran for the hills.
There was no reason to massacre them.
Everything okay down there? Sounded
Massacre
like a war zone.
them.
We're fine, Alana. But don't expect much action anytime soon. Seems like this specific memory in the Animus is down for the count.
Let me guess. That happened when you ripped me out. Great. That's the last thing we need.
I had no choice. Complaining won't repair the computer. The memory files are overriding each other, and I'll need time to sort them out.
You know what? I need some time alone. May as well head back to Greece until Elysia returns anyway.
Yo, you're in Greece right now. Alright, so that has been Fields of Elysium. I will see you guys next time, eventually. I don't know how long that's gonna take, in the Hades DLC, episode 2. So, yeah, see you later, hope you enjoyed, and stay sneaky.